Hi Capricorn, here is a general look at your solar chart for September 2014, and every year when the sun comes into another earth sign, it chimes in very well with your sign. So the sun is in Virgo until the 23rd of September, and that is good news for your sign. It's an expansive time. It's a time to shake out the cobwebs. Some of you might be on the move, traveling. Some of you may be just experiencing enthusiasm and sort of a potential and fresh possibilities outside of the routine box, that kind of thing. And you should be putting yourself into environments which are outside of the routine box. Overall, I think this is a time when you are feeling more sensitive, taking things into yourself more deeply. Maybe you're a very shielded and defended sign normally. And you're great in an emergency situation because you can keep calm. I mean, maybe, you know, after it's all over, your knees start to shake, but you're very good, you know, like there's a car crash, so you're the one that stands up in the middle of the road and directs the traffic quite calmly. But you're a very sensitive sign, but you're a very, very shielded, protected sign. And just now with the position, the new position of Jupiter, and you have Pluto in your sign, which is like major makeover moment for you as a soul, let alone a human being. I mean, it can only come around once in a lifetime, and it will not get round all of the 12 signs in an ordinary lifespan. Nothing like it. You'd have to be 200 and something years old. So to have the privilege of Pluto in your sign is really something quite special. But you've got Jupiter in the area, which is again sort of breaking down your old defenses and helping you to clear the decks of old clutter, old baggage, to build something amazingly new, like the phoenix, you know, coming up from the ashes, but also allowing yourself to be more touched, to be more sensitive, to be more open. And that's in general, and that's nothing to do with this month in particular, but it just came, so there we are. It's been delivered to you. Now, the sun is in this expansive area, but I have to mention that just until the end of August, or rather from the end of August and the first 2 days maybe of September, there's some sort of a little bit of heavy energy around, but also some confusing, uncertain energy around. So you may feel like you've got some pressures on you, you've got quite a lot on your plate, but also you haven't got the clarity that you'd like either. And because you haven't got all the evidence stacked together so that you can review it or judge it or whatever, then you are a bit in limbo as well, and doubts can creep in, or illusions can creep in, and maybe that illusory energy which comes from Neptune, which and Neptune rules fog, you know, so it is a bit like driving along a road in fog. You have to work harder at it, and you've got to push through, and you've got to go slower because you've got to keep making sure where your boundaries are and where the lines are on the road, right? So you're paying more attention, but you still can't see very, very far ahead. So it's a little bit like that, or it might be a little bit like that for you. And in general, and this goes for all the signs, it's better to make up your mind about something. It's like, you know, the last votes come in after the middle of the month, you know, in the second half of the month. For more or less the whole month, Mercury is in an area to do with goals in life, general direction in life, targets that you want to meet. It's in things to do with parents or being parental yourself. It's in an area to do with officials, bureaucracy, paperwork, red tape, and all of that grown-up stuff that we've created for ourselves. It's in the area of systems. It's in the area of career and profession and the worldly stage. So discussions, ideas, the wheels in the mind may be sort of churning around those sorts of things there. It may be a goal which has nothing to do with the profession or anybody professional, but, and also it can be that vehicles, transport, travel, and communications equipment is just more on your mind, for whatever the reason. Until the 6th, Venus is in a place of emotional depth, and is very much, this is the same place as Jupiter is for many, many months. Venus is only there for a short time, but it means that things become more intimate, involved, even sexual. This is an area of passion. So depending on, what stage you are at in life and which lessons you're learning at the moment. Venus here could also manifest as a relationship which helps you out, or that you're sharing in a relationship where you're helped out materially. There's material benefits that can come through teaming up with somebody else. There's emotional benefits as well, though. So this is an area where, because of somebody else's attention, care, and maybe commitment, you feel more materially secure or emotionally secure or involved, you see. And it might be something, like I say, it can be quite a sizzly one as well, which is relatively brief, but of course we'd have to see the rest of your chart to know what else is going on, to know whether that's brief or not. It can also be about money and property, and I should have put that first, really, shouldn't I? And then from the 6th, Venus supports relationships with those far away, from a different background. You're connecting with somebody who's at a distance to you. Traveling with a partner is possible. You and somebody are really enjoying getting out of the routine box together. You are also learning stuff and appreciating what you're finding out, and you are feeling expansive. You're feeling that there's potential there, and you're looking forwards. It's quite a forward-moving area, but you and someone may be on a bit of a learning curve together, but you may be connecting with people, and then that can be lucrative, people who are at a distance from you, or indeed it may be an educational setting where you are advising, mentoring, teaching, or vice versa, and money may be involved. Don't expect to be able to evaluate things in a realistic kind of a way, in an almost like a final kind of a way, until somebody or something, until the end of the month, because somebody or something could maybe not be coming across to you as clearly as it should be for you to be able to evaluate, weigh it up properly, you see. And also there is this sort of a little bit of unfocused energy around. There could be some jitters in the second week, some uncertainty, some surprises, even because of Pluto and Uranus coming into the mix on Venus there on the 11th and 12th in particular. There could be a little bit of a power struggle going on, or a little bit of a clash of values going on, or it could be that you've got to be sort of quiet about something and hold your tongue, maybe, but also stand your ground. It could be working out in lots of ways, but it's worth a mention, not to try and schedule anything too important to you on the 11th and the 12th, even though you may be ambushed by surprise. And you could be feeling like there's a lot riding on this. This is quite important, or somebody around you does. And then you just get this one thought going around in your head, or somebody around you does, you see. So just try and keep the space, try and keep the neutrality, try to keep the balance there. From the 23rd, the solar energy theme means you'll be taking your targets and overall direction more seriously. That's when the sun comes into this to join Mercury. You're thinking about the impression you're making. You're thinking about presentation, image. You're thinking more about how you are presenting something or yourself. Okay, so that just seems to be more important for whatever the reason. And you've got to be more aware of the rules imposed by society or certain figures in society, certain figures in position of power, parental type figures, or you are the rule imposer, you are the position in power, you are the one, calling the shots. Now, wouldn't that be nice? And reputation is more important to you now, how it's coming across to others, whatever that's about. Mars. Now, Mars is in the same area as Saturn at the moment. Saturn is in a very, very slow long-term transit, which started in October 2012. Mars is in there, making it more in your face, stirring it up, making it more immediate. So the Saturn transit is to do with finding your place in the pecking order, really. Kind of cultivating your way through there. Getting people on side maybe, but gradually. So it is, the way it can work is actually you find yourself within a group of people, but as a matter of fact, you find you don't have anything in common with them after all. Or you thought you would, but you don't. Or it might be a group of people that are very challenging to you, that's good for you. Because you've got to watch your P's and Q's. Or you're learning a lot, or whatever it is. Mars is in there. So Mars has been in there all through August and will be there until mid-month, stirring that area up. And wants to be the initiator. Mars likes to take action. Mars likes to decide on something and then take action. So it does mean that you maybe push the envelope more in that area there than Saturn alone there would like, because Saturn is very much the limiter and play it by the book, It is your ruling planet, you see. But just avoid being hasty. Don't push things too hard. Don't spread yourself too thin, and don't let others tire you out, really. Whether, what kind of others it is, whether it's family or some sort of, friends or friend, It's quite a technology-orientated area. Things like the internet and the paraphernalia that goes with the internet will tend to be emphasized with Mars here. But it's definitely time to get the ball rolling on something, Capricorn, because this area that Mars is in throughout August and until the middle of September is a very progressive, future-orientated area. So something that's been gathering dust and mouldering away in the background that you've been wanting to do but haven't had the chance, or haven't had the money, or haven't had the time, or haven't had the guts, now is the time for you to get going with that. Of course, always listen to your own gut feeling on it. And then Mars moves into quite a background area where there's a lot more going on covertly, behind the scenes, or you pulling strings from behind the scenes, or you beavering away at something, in the wings, or something quite dynamic is going on, but out of sight. You're putting yourself out a lot. You're actually having to deal with a lot, but others don't acknowledge it or even know. Because things won't be ready to present to the world and to reveal until Mars comes into your sign, and that won't be until November. Probably the end of October. Could be the beginning of November, but it's around that time there anyway. And Jupiter has begun its new cycle and will be putting a beneficial emphasis onto your joint financial area. So jointly held assets, property, money, material, your life could improve through the contribution of a key association. or associations, but also emotionally your life could improve because the conditions around you are more your type of thing, more familiar, more affectionate, more friendly, more easygoing, more going with the flow. Okay, so and also sexual as well. Some of you may be finding a new level of intimacy with somebody. And it could be a new financial setup or property setup as well. And you Capricorns born in the middle 10 days or with 9 to 16 degrees rising are going to feel this energy the most. Did I tell you Saturn? I don't think I did. You Capricorns born in the in the last of the middle or the first of the last 10 days, or with 17 to 22 degrees rising, going to feel that energy the most in this forecast period. And that's it for September. If you know your rising sign or your moon sign, listen to those, because if you add those in, it'll take away or it'll broaden sort of give you a different slant on what I've said here. And you can sort of piece it together in whichever way makes sense to you. And I'll see you the next time.